Okay, so today we're going to be talking about printing things out to screen. And what printing things to screen is actually means it's printing stuff to the console window. So let's take a look at DrJava really quick. DrJava is broken into three parts. The first part is over to the far left. This is called your projects window. This is basically where it holds all of your projects. Right now we've had, maybe two projects open simultaneously. And this is, you can have as many projects as you want to open. This is where you do that at. So that's your projects window. Over here, this is called the source code. This is our code that we type in and that we compile and run to make a Java project. Right down here, we haven't used this yet. This is called the console window, and this is the stuff that when we print stuff out to screen, this is where it goes, where it's printed to. So what we want to do today is we want to learn how to print things out to screen. So the first command you want to do to print stuff to screen, and this is a big one, it's system.out.println, and the system is a capital S, and then open parenthesis, close parenthesis, semicolon. Whenever you type this line, what this does is this just tells Java, hey, I want to print something out to the console window. So whenever we compile and run it, and there we go. It says, welcome to DrJava. It didn't print anything. That's okay because we didn't tell it to print anything. This command just says, hey, this is what we want to print. Nothing. All right, so nothing's been printed. How do we actually make something print? Well, inside these parentheses, we just do quotation marks. So remember, you open quotation marks, you want to close them. Go between the quotation marks, then we're going to type something to print. So let's just print, how about my daughter's name, Madison, M-A-D-I-S-O-N, and we'll type in her last name, Storm, S-T-O-R-M. So whatever you print inside of these quotation marks is going to be printed out to your console window. So we compile and we run it, and there's your Madison Storm. Okay, quotation marks, whatever's inside here is going to be printed. We're actually going to print, let's try this. This is called a string literal. It's whatever's inside two quotation marks. Inside the string literal, we're also going to do what's called concatenation. That's where we're going to join multiple things together. And I'm going to say Madison Storm, we'll say is my daughter. So we'll type is my daughter, and put that inside quotation marks. So what this is going to print is it's going to print this, Madison Storm, and then is my daughter. We're going to print those two things together. We'll compile and run that. And there's Madison Storm is my daughter. You see a problem with this? Yep, right here. We have no spaces between Storm and is. So all we're going to do is, by the way, we're going to do it the very long way. We're going to add another concatenation. So we're going to concatenate, open parenthesis, and plus. We could have also just put a space before the I or after the M, or we can just concatenate a space, which is what I chose to do. So we'll compile, run that again, and there you go. There's Madison Storm is my daughter. All right, so let's work with what's called variables. We'll talk about variables later on in the class, but right now I just want you to do this. We're going to type in an int age, and we'll say equals, Madison, how old are you?
11.
We're going to print int age equals 11, and we'll type in that. And int, we'll say date equals, she was born on the 14th, so int date is 14, and we'll say nam, we'll use the whole name string. Instead of nam, we'll do names, but it's a string, so we'll type in string with capital S, string name equals, and we've already got Madison, let's use our sister Katie, so K-A-T-I-E, okay? So now we've declared three variables, age, date, and name. Okay, we're going to use these. So let's try, first we're going to do, we'll do our sys.out.println, and inside the quotation marks this time, instead of putting a string literal, something between quotation marks, we'll just print out the variable. And the variable that I want to print this time is age. So I'm just going to put age inside here, and we're going to compile that, and we'll run it. So now there's our top line. Sys.out.println, Madison Storm is my daughter. Then the next line prints 11. Well, why did it print an 11? Because age has a value of 11. So this time, we want it to print just like we did up here. We want to concatenate the age and the date. So we're going to print age, and then we're just going to concatenate a date, D-A-T-E, and then it should print out 11 and 14. So let's go ahead and we're going to compile that, and we'll run it, and we've got a little problem. It did not print out the 11 and 14 as expected. Instead, it actually added these two numbers together. Okay? It added 11 and 14 to give us 25. So what happened? Well, nothing really. Java just said, look, you want me to, here's age is an integer, a number. Date is an integer number, and you told me to plus them together. This no longer is concatenation. This is an operator, an addition operator, and we're going to add those two numbers together. But watch what happens whenever I put a string in with this mix. So I'm going to use the last variable name, name, which in this case is Katie, and I'm going to concatenate that with age and date. Okay, so now what happens to that 25? We'll compile, we'll run that, and now we get Katie and 11, 14. They went back to being individuals. Why? Because Java said, look, we've got a string mixed in with an integer, mixed in with another integer. So instead of trying to add things together, because I can't add strings to integers, I'm just going to print them all as individuals. Not a problem. That's what we expected it to do. So, or what I expected it to do, and now what you know it's going to do. So what we're going to do is we're just going to type in the name, that's Katie, and we're going to type in is, and we'll do a space, and put a space before the I and S and after the S, and we'll just add another years old. Okay, and so now let's take a look at it. So now if we compile and run this, I missed something. Oh, I forgot the plus. There's my concatenation, and compile that, and we'll run it now. And now it says Katie is 11 years old, and then it has your 14. And put a space between the Y and after the D. Okay, and we'll run that. And there's Katie is 11 years old, then 14 the date. So you say, okay, well, that's nice. How do I actually make those things add again? So we'll go back to here and compile run. Because remember, the first time we ran this, we got 25. Now we're getting the 11, 14. How do I get these numbers to actually add again? And we just put those inside parentheses, the age and date. And we'll compile and run that. And there's your original 25 again, because now they're in parentheses. Once they're in parentheses, Java says, okay, I'm going to treat them like numbers again. So the big ideas here, number one, we're going to go over all this data type stuff and declarations and variables. We'll cover that in detail later. This is just basically getting you started sending stuff to screen using variables. Here's your string literal. This plus is acting as a concatenation, okay, which just joins stuff together. This plus is mathematical operator, which you can use plus and then subtraction, division, multiplication, and multiplication is just the asterisk, which is located above the 8 key. All right, so that's it on printing stuff to screen, and I believe that's it. Is that it, Madison?
And please leave a like and subscribe to this channel.
And that'll do it. Thank you very much.